Might be asleep by 9, mate. Well, it's gone past 9 now. He now lurking in the periphery. How do I change this view? We want it like that, though. We would prefer it like that. You know what time it is? Get that badger in and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. We're introducing this time. I'm trying to work out whether I'm late by 50 minutes from 9 o'clock, because obviously this was... But Lockie was extremely graceful, because I thought I'd be able to get an hour out of him if I kept him. And he was extremely graceful, and he was willing to stay. So, not that, so excellent stuff. Lockie's a plethora of knowledge. It's good to speak to him, so it was good to have him on. How's the miniature schnauzers, Enar, legendary MVG would like to know. The badge has been missed daily. I think once I've got, because I'm going to get Andrea on next week, hopefully. And then once I've done a full course, full round of 4, then when we go back to hopefully if I can get Joe again in 2 weeks, I will see if I dare introduce the badger in front of someone. But up until now, I've never introduced the badger ever while in interview form. I don't know if it's really even classed as an interview, to be fair. Round 2, what's on the menu? I'm hoping you're on about your schnauzers, Enar. Names needed. Could have a bottle of Peroni. I'm only having the one tonight, boys. I'm having a Chinese in a bit. So, Farke's press conference today, I thought was absolutely superb. Calm, cool, collected like he is, my geezer. Just speaking there with Lockie, to be fair, about the badger. Gagging for it. Just speaking to Lockie about Farke's style and stuff, and it's not. I've never actually thought about it really up until preparing to speak to Lockie. But I just wondered what his thoughts were on Farke football in general, and then it dawned on me that it's not my favorite football. It's not the favorite football I've ever watched. But there's no denying the position Farke's put us in up to now, and it is truly just up to the boys now to go and do it. And truth be told, Farke leaves at the end of the season. If we don't go up, there's the names. Farke goes. I'm going to attempt to pronounce them in a minute. Enar, MVG struggling as well, but yeah, Farke goes regardless. If we don't go up, Farke goes. But I maintain the fact that he has not embarrassed the club. Like Lockie said, when the time is right for Farke to go, even if we go up into Premier League, he will eventually go. And Lockie will be like, thank you for your time at the club. It's not like there's been no embarrassment there. There's been he's never tripped himself up. He never looked daft. I know people could say about Meslier silentness or whatever, but it's not. He's just never embarrassed the club. He's been a proper solid member and part of our history. And I'd love it, to be honest. Love it if we beat them. But I'd love it if we went up into Premier League and he did get it. I mean, obviously, just selfishly, I'd love it if we finished 8th, 9th in the league. But if we do have a mint season next season going up, I don't know. I think we were spoilt with Bielsa, and then we've had some bad times, and then we've come into Championship, and Farke is the Championship man, the king of the Championship, and it's just we're expected to go back up, and nobody's really. If Farke had come without Bielsa, I think it's a different story really for Farke's legacy. But that's just the nature of beast, and there's something mint about how he don't really. He's just come and he knows that the job to do. He knows that he's got to get us promoted. It's his only way into Premier League, and Farke's only way in. He has to go through the Championship. So I love him, but not as much as Bielsa. But I'm probably never going to love a manager as much as Bielsa ever again. So I think overall his tactics should get the job done. We spoke just obviously, and I'm speaking about speaking, but just spoke to Lockie, and he mentioned about getting up for last games and stuff, and it's dawned on me that it's quite difficult for Farke to send our side out like bang up for a game because of the style of play that we actually have. It's very controlled, isn't it? And no messing. So it's not like Bielsa like getting and bang up for it and coming out at 150 mile an hour and flying around pitch, getting stuck into a few big tackles and what have you. I don't know if that's coming through, but I think she's hoovering literally what feels like in my ear. But yeah, it's quite difficult for him to get us proper bang up for a game in the sense that I feel like we need it now, just a bit of bite and a bit of horribleness and getting about it. So I don't know what everybody's thoughts are on that, but ultimately, you just got to match the teams. I keep saying it, but I really mean it. You got to match teams for 100% commitment, no messing about, be bang up for games. And I honestly think we've got enough to go get it done. We've got 2 away games. I got pelts for saying this other day, but I'm glad we've got 2 away games because how we've been getting on in at Ellen Road recently has been, well, it's been dreadful. It's a bit awful atmosphere against Swansea. Sam, if we don't beat Luton, we don't deserve to go up. It's literally as simple as that. Let's have a look at fixtures because I know some of them have moved around. I think the Bristol City game got moved today, 28th of April. Don't know if that's updated. So I need to get my calendar out as well. Get this calendar open, get this puppy open. Luton, Middlesbrough, 2 away games, as we know. Then into Preston at home. Oxford away. Not bang up for that. But I think if we get 9 points, Luton, Middlesbrough, Preston, I think we can. I don't want to say afford a wobble. I don't want another wobble, but just looking forward to that Man United friendly that keeps popping up in every time I put Leeds United fixtures. That's all I'm bothered about, that Man United friendly. My mate were on about going to watch that live. Can't even get him to home games, and he's on about going and watching that live. So Tuesday, so Saturday, obviously 2 days. We've got Luton, then on 8th, which is the Tuesday, is Middlesbrough. 12th, which is another Saturday at home to Preston. That's 12:30 kickoff again. Shite. But I think we'll be all right at Middlesbrough away at 8 o'clock kickoff. I think we'll be bang up for that, to be fair. And I think they will be. I think they're met for a good game. Then on Friday night, Oxford away, which I'll probably be live for. '21st is Easter Monday to Stoke. That's a big one. 28th, so it's the Monday after, right? It's a 7-day break, which I think Lockie said. I forgot to ask him about his coaching, bastard. I wanted to find out how he's getting on with that. But I think he said he was working that weekend, so he can now hopefully celebrate. Obviously, that Bristol game is the third to last game of season, isn't it? When Burnley play, and this is Bradford. Then Burnley play Sheffield United. So I honestly thought of you, Ming, when cause you're trying to get tickets for that Bristol game, aren't you? Does that? Because you said you can cancel your hotel, so I reckon it'd be easy to get tickets for now as well, dude. So I want to have a quick go at pronouncing. I would say Mugger or Mugger, and Marakva Sol, which I know it's probably not Sol, but No, I'm going back to Mugger. Mukfa Sol. I like the names though. I do not know. I swear on my life, I've had this about the Badger before, Andy, and I don't really try to wind me up, but I don't know. I have not stolen the Badger off anyone. We get bullied easily. Time to get stuck in and give the opponent some shit. We need some bite and some nastiness in there. That's why he's not rushed Ampadu back, but we spoke about that, to be fair, believe it or not, with Lockie. And just like getting minutes in his legs, we're pushing it further down the line if we didn't do it. on Saturday, then we're going into the Luton game. It's obviously not gone well at Saturday, and then you're bringing him in. And I know it's training and all that, you can get up to fitness, but you never match sharp. And really, you know, how games go, if we'd have been, I don't know, if it were 1-1, would you really want to be bringing Ampadu on, who's coming back from injury at 60, 70 minutes with 20 minutes to go? Is he going to change the game? You could argue, you know, like, I mean, Farke actually said, do we concede them 2 goals if he stays on the pitch, which I think there is an argument for. I think he loves in Ampadu, Farke trusts, doesn't he? So I just think he's all for it. Does Farke have a style of play? Early season, it was tippy-tappy towards the back, then free-flowing in the 7-0. Farke's 100% got a style of play on there. I don't think that's ever been in disrepute. You have to go on my Twitter, dude. I think there's potential that Farke's Paraag stepped in. I'm joking, of course. It's absolute bollocks that Paraag stepped in. Funniest thing over that. There's been some. It sounds like Klingon. Today's presser was so un-Farke-like, Jack. On Saturday, he stated 100% we will be in the Premier League next season. Then today, he caveats that, mentioning the playoffs. Well, in fairness, he said we'll 100% be in the Premier League next season, didn't he? And, you know, there is another way into the Premier League, and that is unfortunately through the playoffs. Nobody wants that, and I don't want that. But that is a legitimate method into the Premier League, isn't it? So he's still not lying. I must say myself, JB, I did not like it when he mentioned playoffs. And then he did sort of like retract it, to be fair. He retracted it a bit later on when he got asked about the playoffs. And he says, I don't want to talk about the playoffs. I thought, I am glad you've said that, Farke, because I do think, you know, I mean, actually, you know, Andy will probably have the receipts on me, but I said it'd be a failure. Or, well, yeah, I think it'd be a failure if we don't win the league this year. But I'll take by any means necessary going up, even if it's through the playoffs. Ultimately, it is the best way to go up, but we're obviously not very good in cup finals, so I don't want to go that way, you know. And I think it'll just, to be honest, even if we went up through playoffs, I think it'd heap far too much pressure on Farke. So, because I think Farke will get, I think we're going to have a proper job on stifling the Farke hate next year when we lose a few games, if we do go up, or when we go up. So I think if we go up through the playoffs, people are going to be like 2 or 3 games in, or not even 2 or 3 games. There's some people saying even if he gets us up, we still got to sack him. So, you know, bring back Bielsa in the Premier League with full backing. Lockie got me a bit lubed up about that, making me thinking it was a genuine potential for that, but I can't even let my brain go towards that, because if I start thinking about Bielsa coming back, like if Farke, obviously I'd have to move on if we didn't go up this season. So Farke moves on. If that, I don't know whether in the back of my mind I can start engineering that actually being a good thing. And I know we desperately need to go up this season, but ultimately in the back of my mind, I can't help it but be like, well, in fairness, if we don't go up this season, you know, Bielsa might be on his way back, but we need to go up this season. Shout out to Mingy for gifting out the membership. I can't see who gets them anymore because I'm on this new wave, so I don't know who gets them. I used to be able to read out who got them, but thank you for the gifting the membership out, dude. The man, the myth, the Ming, the legend. No way was Farke made to drop Meslier. It's honestly, mate, in it. You can spin narratives, right, and people can come out with the biggest load of woof ever, and people just buy it, and I don't know why they buy it. It's like, I don't know. I know some people can talk to you like you're thick and that, and they can say things that, you know, I understand how persuasive people can be, but I just don't know how people blindly believe everything they hear. It's like I've always thought, or certainly as a grown adult for the past few years, believe what you see, don't believe what you hear. And it's like pretty much it's about as true as it can be to me, that if you can see it, it's real. If you hear it, it's probably not. And if you hear it off somebody, there's a level of reliable source, isn't there? And then there's like, I'm just making shit up here. Because I just think, and you can be like, you can be honest and wrong, and like accidentally wrong, and be like, that's what I think, or do not reckon, or whatever. But it's total speculation, this YouTube game, innit? Let's have it right. We're totally guessing. Nobody's in the dressing room. So to come out and make statements like Paraag has stepped in and told Farke to get Meslier, Silent S out is so criminally wrong. It's just on so many levels. It's embarrassing. I'm so happy I don't wake up on a morning and have thoughts like that and actually think that that's true. Because there's one of two things happening. You're either saying things like Paraag stepped in and told Farke to drop Meslier. You either believe that and you really believe that, or you don't and you're going to say it anyway because you think it's good for the channel. And I know which one I'd take you actually believe that and you just a ridiculous man. But I don't know, I don't like liars, me. For personal gain, it's even worse. It's like, do you believe in anything? If you don't stand for all you believe in anything, it's just, I don't know. Paraag did not make that decision. Paraag probably stepped in, but it fits an agenda that, yet again. So Farke has made the right decision. We all sort of unanimously agree it's probably time for Meslier, Silent S to come out of the firing line. Both, one for the club, two for Mez, and three for Farke. Because now if Darlow's a bag of shit at weekend, at least it's not on Farke. It's not on the club. And it's not on Meslier, Silent S. It just is what it is. It'd probably actually strengthen Farke's position, that. Because people would say, well, that's why he didn't bring him in, because Darlow's missing something. But I think Darlow, it can't get much worse, unfortunately, than what Mez has been up to recently. So I just think it's the right time to do it. I said myself after the whole game I'd have probably done it, but he's in training with him. He's watching him every single day, and Darlow's obviously not the man, is he? Which I know we signed him to be. We've probably thought Mez were going to move on. But to suggest that the chairman of the club has come in, called a meeting. But that's what I mean. It suits the agenda. So it's like, rather than it just being the right decision for club, manager, and player, it becomes like Farke hasn't made that decision. So nothing he does now is right, because we're now on this train that is Farke out again. Ironically, because it keeps it on Farke out, actually, thinking about it, thinking a little bit more in depth about it. It keeps the Farke out train going, because if you say, oh, Farke's made the right decision and he's got Darlow in, most people gravitate towards saying, oh, Darlow's in, and now everybody's excited, and for some reason we're getting promoted again instantly, which is silly to me, because there's a lot more to it than just a goalkeeper making a mistake. We need to turn up against Luton before we start worrying about what goalkeeper's up to. But it fits, because I can still say Farke out now, because Farke's not even making the decisions anymore. I joked about it on Twitter today, quite extensively. But if Bamford's getting closer to fitness, but does Paraag rate him? Because if Paraag don't rate him, he don't come into the side, does he? Because Paraag, for these next 7 games, he's picking team, so get used to it, everybody. Criminal, that. Criminal. Redonkadonk. I'd hotel booked and was up for some tickets and watched the promotion party on the Sunday. And to be fair, Luke from Ought Know Better has gone in on Twitter about it, and it is right. It's sort of like, it's potentially one of the biggest games of our recent history, and they've moved it. It's like we do get moved about a lot, don't we? But and we would have had a full weekend potentially having it. But eggs is eggs, isn't it? It's nature at beast. Do you reckon you can just get hotel moved though, Mingy? What do you reckon? No, Andy. Farke has not had his collar felt. I think this will now give the squad a shot in the arm. Sticking with Meslier would have been downer for the players. I just think I spoke to Lockie briefly about it, and it's if he starts Nonto as well, it feels like he's really gone in on the squad a little bit and really like chopped it up, moved stuff about, as opposed to just bringing Nonto in. Because everybody's obviously clambering to drop James, Aronson, Peru, and and Solomon, getting Ramazani, Joseph on and putting Tanaka in 10, and then getting Ramazani out wide as well. But that's not going to happen. But I don't want him to do that. So I think the best way about it is to really drop Mez because it needs dropping, and then I would start Nonto over Solomon and give Solomon a rest. Really, might need game against Middlesbrough might suit Solomon a little bit more as well. I don't think anything that we do now is structurally matters. He's definitely not going to change the formation, is he? He's not going to do that. His head has not gone, JB. He could not have been cooler and calmer in the press conference today. He's a beef. See, I'm all right with Hallgrim, and I know that's probably not how you even say that bit, but obviously once we get to that bit, I'd go Hallgrim's Skirker. Hallgrim's Skirker. That's what I'm going for. AO says, my gripe, I can say gripe, my gripe with Farke, fucker, is the style of soccer he wants to play. It's more suited to and would be more effective in 4-3-3 than 4-2-3-1 formation, that is all. I think his style is better suited to 4-2-3-1, in truth. I'm saying with English now. I speak Yorkshire, mate. I just speak Yorkshire. Until I go to like somewhere else in Yorkshire that I don't have a fucking clue what they're saying either. Has Tam been gifted the membership? Legendary. It's odd that Daniel Farke said it would be madness to drop the keeper after Hull, but now it's fine. I think it can be two things can be true at once, can't they? It could have been madness to drop Farke, drop the keeper after the Hull game, but not now. That two things can be true at once. Probably was a bit knee jerky, No, I'm going to stick with him one more time, and now it's like enough's enough. He can't keep risking it, really. I think it's happened at a good time. I know I'm just backing into ill now at this point. It's come at a good time. Fuck it. He's getting dropped. The eyes don't lie, Mingy. The eyes, Chico, they never lie. What position are you playing in the game, Jack? I do not know currently. I'm hoping my man Joe is going to utilise me out wide. But I don't really have them legs that I used to have. I've still got the same legs that I used to have, to be fair. I've not changed legs, but they don't quite operate as much as they once did. So I'm not as, if he wants me to get back, if he's wanting these dynamic wing backs or fucking, up and down wing D James style, it's probably not going to happen. So this is my last beer before match in 20th of a month that I'm not sure of. I think it's June. But don't quote me, this is what I mean. This is why I've not really mentioned much of it, because I think it's June. But if it's not, it's not. Playoffs puts all the plans back a month. Hard enough to plan for a Premier League season without everything up in the air for a month. It's not the way. I agree, JB. You know, that's not. I'm not. Where have we got my defence of going up in playoffs? Has not been. There's no defence of me trying to say we should go up in playoffs. There's 10 players in front of Darlow, and these players need to throw off the shackles of pressure and believe in themselves and their abilities. Fucking step up. I think you put that in the chat with me and Lockie, didn't you, Emmett? But it wasn't appropriate for me to put on the screen at the time, so I didn't want to knock Lockie off what he was saying. But I 100% agree. Fuck the pressure. The pressure comes with football. Smash the likes and subscribe, please. Yes, Danny Talk Sport. Thank you, dude. Not made to drop in, but influenced by all the noise from the media, fans, Paraag, and reality hit home. Honestly, I don't think that's right. 78 RPM. I'm staunchly against Paraag making a football decision on the pitch. I've never heard out like that in my whole life. It really tickles me every time I think it. Daniel, need to have a chat. Meslier, no, I'm stepping in. I am stepping in. Brutal, Andy. Brutal. Agenda gate is real. There's no doubt about it, Ming. It all sets up and it starts up, and then people become really active online, and you know, views start piling in. Because there's no doubt about it, when it goes tits up, views pile in, and you know, it's like grief thieving. It's awful. Gits up art style images. Love it, lad. I will not be Farke out if we go up. I think Farke has had his opportunity twice. I like Farke, but if he don't get us up, it's over for him. Now, the 49ers are doing exactly what owners should be doing. They're not getting involved and leaving everything up to the manager to decide who and what's best for the team. I agree, Paraag can pick teams in his sleep, which is the only place he will be picking teams, because it certainly won't be in Daniel Farke's. I still can't. What was the line? What was the line? It was tremendous. Paraag stepped in. Paraag likely stepped in. He's likely stepped in. Paraag stepped in. That's what I mean. It's always like, yeah, Meslier's dropped. Paraag stepped in. Fucking shut up. Oh, it's so funny. BMG, Angry Mad Gav don't watch the games, does he? So he won't even really know Meslier is. He'll be aware of the stinkers, the clangers, and he'll know that he needs dropping, but he doesn't have much of an opinion on many of the players. He's more of a whole. So when there's an error, he recognises that it's a lot of other people's problem. Well, when the title says Paraag steps in, well, he deserves it, man. He talks like everything he says is right. So shit is as shit does. Piss funny. It's just funny anyway. It's only a bit of banter. So I'm only messing about. I couldn't care less. Paraag steps in. It's too much. Don't rule Bamford out this year, mate. He's on his way back. But it depends whether Paraag rates him. He'll get his opportunity if Paraag still rates him. If Paraag don't rate him, he won't get his opportunity, mate. Get that refund. Get it moved over, Ming. Say you've got date wrong. Giving him an ultimatum on Meslier, silent S, dude. The language tamer. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's like, and then when he does drop him, it's Paraag did it, not Farke did it. Paraag did it. Farke won't do it. Paraag did it. Like, can you imagine how quickly you'd lose the dressing room if you're not even making the fucking decisions and the chairman is wandering down and saying, "Here, mate, drop Meslier, you know, we're off up this season." And he goes, "All right, yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I will drop Meslier, actually. That's probably why we're not going up this season." BMG, never rule it out, mate. Never rule it out. Good lad, Duck Fuzz. Love it. That's what we want. 20th of July, Danny Talk Sports says, apologies, thought it was June, but I think that's when I'm off on holiday, maybe. He scores when he wants. If it comes to it, here we go, BMG. I'm pretty sure you put something like that in chat before a few weeks ago. If it comes to it, he'd fancy his chances in playoffs. I actually do, so ridiculously, but I'm with Farke 100% going up. He's my best mate, really. Love him. I know, Hank, we need to get some chat talk going on, some salad talk going in, don't we? The mad Italian used to try and influence the team selection, especially if he'd been on the marching powder. Do you reckon he was on sniff? Or oh, you're not. Are you on about? Well, Victor or no, Belgian. Oh, it's from Spain, fucking Belgium. I've just gone on I put Victor Orta and I think I went on the fucking. Who were I looking at then? My Google searches have gone down pan. I'm looking at a builder. Do you mean Radrizzani? I can't imagine Radrizzani been on sniff, can you? Who knows? Though they're all on it, aren't they? It's mentally It's toiletry talk. It's pissed up like 4 hours into a chat. Just yeah, I think I don't think many chandeliers exist anymore, do they? But I think sustainable success. What does that mean nowadays? I think if we do well in Prem next year, he gets another year at it. I think he can get us to a proper solid Premier League status, and then see where we go from there. See where we move from that. I don't know. Do I think Farke can get us all the way to like what me and Lockie were just talking about? Lockie was getting me hyped about potentially talking about Europe in 7 or 8 years, which just in reality, you're going to Premier League. It's not you're a few decent windows and a couple of decent managers away from that. It's not like people are making out like because the gulf's so huge. My guy Lockie is right. In 8 years, 6, 7 years, that's a hell of a long time in football. That, and you're talking about Europe, a lot can go on. We could get it far sooner. You've just got to get it right. You're a million miles away from Premier League standard, and then suddenly you're right in there with it. It's such a weird thing. It's like if you're in League One, you can never envisage it, can you? You can't see it. And then when you get promoted to Championship, you think, right, it's the same thing. It's like, but it's similar to getting out. It's similar to winning the Championship, really. I'm not talking about winning the league, because winning the Premier League is insanely difficult and unbelievably hard to attain. But in terms of getting like a Europa League spot or whatever, 5th or 6th in league, you're just a few good decisions away from it. A couple of mint seasons or one mint season, and then you are right in there. That is how we did it last time, in fairness, when we Radaby and that. You're not a million miles away. Nottingham Forest have done it. Villa have done it. Newcastle, I know, have got tons of money. They've done it. So you can get in there. You can sneak in there. It just feels like we're a million miles off, but we're not. We're a decent season in Premier away. So if we do well, if we make a few decent signings and do well next season, finish 12th, be a good season that, and then make some really good decisions in the January window when you finish 12th, and then make some good decisions in the summer. There is no reason why the year after, really, you're not pushing for European football. Now I'm getting well ahead of myself because obviously we need to be, we need to get out of Championship first, and we're currently not playing well enough to get out of Championship. But it isn't that wild. Once you're in there, the ante's up tenfold for everything. Just in terms of players coming in, players that want to sign, also poor players that want to sign. Every man and his dog suddenly wants to turn up, and you can get some absolute dross and make some real big mistakes. But thus far, the 49ers have made some brilliant decisions. Tanaka, Lockie's man Tanaka, unbelievable signing. Ampadu's been a brilliant signing. Rodon's been a brilliant signing. Bogle's been a brilliant signing. I don't know the Burgle will have it to the level that we need in Premier League, but in terms of staying up, it does. It's a decent signing. He's played in Prem before. He knows what it's all about. Paraag Parisley, again into Premier League, question marks, but might kick on. But again, the Championship is a brilliant signing. Solomon on loan's been a brilliant signing. Kamara was a good signing. Kamara was a proper decent centre midfielder. We nearly went up last year. These players need moving on, don't they? They're also not, sentimental FC, fucking sentimental FC over here. It's not sentimental FC, but they're also not that either. They will just move players on when they think they've got an upgrade, and they've been right with everything. You can't say they haven't. That's what I'm saying with Kamara. It's a good signing. I get the reference, yeah. It's something to do with cars, isn't it, I think? We had the onion talk. Somebody put, I can't remember who it was on a tongue to Lockie, but somebody put, we've slipped into underlap here because I dragged Lockie into my vegetable talk, which is just natural. They'll be moving in for it. You need to be careful, BMG. Hypothetically, here we go. In the unlikely event that Luton beat us, joke, Farke will be blamed for not playing Meslier in goal. Well, if Darlow makes a mistake, where do you go from that? And I'm not even joking. If Darlow drops it from a corner or makes a howler, big mistake, where do you go from there? Because, if number two, I mean, you could say Cairns or whatever, but if number two's worse than number one, which is normally how it works, but, it can't get, as I say, you just want him to just do the absolute basics for 7 games. Just not make a howler, really. Just stand in between goals. Do you know what I mean? Just stand in between 2 posts. Stop everything that's sort of like this far away from you either side and this far away from you low down. Up, even stuff up there, all right, if it goes in, don't worry about it. But anything from here down and then a little bit of a sway to each side like that. As long as you stop all that up to here, down, stop all that. Anything that comes in from this angle when there's nobody around you, nobody challenging, anything like probably a bit higher. So yeah, from there to here, catch or punch. And then obviously same from that side, same angles. This same. But then when you get to here, less so, because you're going to be coming out less for it. And as long as you do that, I think it's the right decision. That's my mathematical. If I had to break it down, save anything that I could save, catch anything that I couldn't catch, but catch anything that I'd have a chance at catching, and I think we'll be all right. Excited to see Darlow play. Hopefully, he can be good at launching attacks. I think he'll be shite on ball, but it don't matter at this point. Just give it to Rodon or Struick. I think we will have a different first 11 against Luton. Can see 5 changes. It's a big call, Chris Gill. I can't imagine that myself. I think it'll be Darlow and maybe Nonto coming to the side if Nonto's fully fit. I can't see him going 5 changes. And to be honest, that would scare the living shit out of me. It depends if Paraag stepped in or not, doesn't it? Because if Paraag steps in, there might be 11 changes. You might say, I don't know what Gray's fitness is like, but get Gray in. You just never know. Bring Lewis Bate back. Another one of his awesome takes. Paraag stepped in. Some dog shit on Allbeck Moore. I'm joining you, Jack. We are going up. Fuck it. I'm adopting the nihilistic approach. Might have to Google what nihilistic means, but not for me. Not mad. I'm not a mad onion super, really. I don't mind, as an accompaniment. Yeah, you see, MVG's not in on it. I'm trying to think what would you have? Chicken? No, not chicken and onion soup, is it? I don't know. We'll maybe have a look at a few soups before I leave tonight. We'll have a little Google some soups. BMG, soon to be AMG, says Spurs have now lost more than half of their games this season. We'll still have the double points of Leicester in 19. Fucking hell. That's what I mean, BMG. You don't have to win a dog load of games, do you? I mean, have they just got beat to Chelsea, were it? Yeah, 1-0. Moved above Man City. Big boy shit. I was just about to say, I'm fancy, but I was just about to say he's a fancy man. And you beat me to it. Do I dare do that, Ina? Should I not share my screen before I do it? I won't share my screen before I do it. Oh my God. Oh my God, Ina. I'll read it out. When a guy gets a rim job and a hand job at the same time from one person, it's funny how it's stated from one person, and it looks like the giver is playing a trombone with a rusty brown mouthpiece. And the statement is Carol introduced Bob to the rusty trombone when she stuck. I can't even read this out. That's fucking outrageous, Ina. Oh, the underlap strikes again. Tremendous. Need 5 players minimum of a good standard and not overpay for them. Well, that would be J298. That's obviously, that'd be wonderful, wouldn't it? If we've got 5 players, good standard, and not overpay for any of them, it's like, that's what you want. Under the 49ers will be Premier League champions and playing in Europe within the next 6 years, in my opinion. Hey, yo. Go on, bang up for that, kid. It's news to me that I know Joe mentioned that in the draft, but I mean, I would do. To be fair, I will make a theme track if they want a theme track. And to be fair, you know what could we sample there? It could be pretty mint. You can't help being fancy, Ming. That's what it is. Can't help liking good stuff. You can't help being fancy. MVG, it's taking a real turn now. Ena, you did start it though. He never mentioned the schnauzers when we were talking about Rusty Trombone. Come on now, MVG. Do you reckon? I actually wanted to. I should have asked Lockie about this because Farke was quite game by game when he spoke about Darlow. Now he don't want to, but he also sort of said, you know, it has to be certain who's going to be in net. Team need to know, the defense need to know who's in net for the coming game, at least like the next game. But I wonder whether Mez gets back in at any point for the next 7 games. Like, is there a scenario? Like, what does Darlow have to do to stay in the side? I'm not trying to bring mistakes onto Darlow, but I can't help but think, you know, when we talk about pressure that Mez is under and stuff, fucking hell, can nobody sense the pressure that Darlow's under here? Because Darlow's, I'm sure, ready for it, and I'm sure he's been eking for his chance to get into the side. But he's under some serious pressure now, I think. 7 games to go to get us promoted. I mean, the flip of that is it's a little bit like a penalty shootout for Darlow. I don't think he'll be asked too much to do. I think Luton might put it on him a little bit, knowing that he's not played much football, and that might launch ball into him. But they'd have done that to Mez at this point, so I don't know. What do you think? I'm only messing about with Meslier coming back in. I can't see a scenario where Mez gets back into the side now, come end of season. And then, like me and Lockie were just saying, I think he does probably get moved on in summer. I think just because it's a bit broken at the club, and I think it'd be a long way back. It's like when that, I mean, it's not the same level, obviously, but Karius, whatever he was called, that played for Liverpool in that Champions League final. It's like there's no way back really from that. And he's half decent in here, I think. You know, I can't remember where he's ended up. I can't be asked Googling it. I'm going to Google it, but I can't be asked. But wherever he's ended up, you know, I don't know. Again, you get stuck with stuff, and it does warrant it really with Mez at this point. You know, been a lot of mistakes this season. It's like it becomes hard to defend, doesn't it? It's just because, you know, as soon as he comes back in, it's like, can you imagine if it's first game of the season at Premier League and he's our number one? You know, pressure's going to be. He needs to move himself, is my point. I don't know where he goes, but there'll be plenty of clubs that take him, and he could end up having a brilliant career, and I think he probably will. So, genuinely, I do. I think, yeah. Solanke not really getting much success for Spurs. Would be a good loan player. Fucking hell, you take Solanke, dude, if we went up this year. Christ on a bike. Take that. Yeah, it's MVG. I think he does tonight. I think Ming does. I think he'll have a turtleneck on tonight, yeah. And maybe listen to Classic FM like later on, just as he's about to bow his head. He nearly came out. That's a while. I'm well behind that because it nearly did. Sex, drugs, and Swiss roll. This is superb. This. My mum likes cashmere though, MVG. So go easy. My mum would say it's not overpriced. Although I suppose it depends what you mean by overpriced. Being a cashmere man, you know, you are. I'm sure you are as well, MVG. You know, you mingle with the Mings of the world, don't you? So you're very. I didn't mean to do the money thing there, but very experienced, very you enjoy the finer things in life, as it were. So overpriced could just mean just silly price. Because if I really wanted a cashmere turtleneck, for instance, and I was willing to pay £15,000 for it, which would be evidently overpriced. But if I don't think that's overpriced, and you offered me 25,000 for it, I'd be like, that's overpriced. Definitely talking shit here, but Bird just caught me off guard there. She has one of my brother's favourite songs on in Bath then. He better not be in there with her. To be fair, I trust him wholeheartedly. He's up for auction here. I'll take the job. I'm not sure what the job is. I don't know if we're on about the theme tune. I don't think I'm liked enough in the space to get the job. Gruev and Ampadu. No. I think he probably sticks with Ampadu. I think Ampadu will. I actually do think he'll have enough in his legs this week. I'd go Ampadu and Tanaka, and I love Rothwell. But I'd get Tanaka back in there because I think he does a bit of both. I think he can muck in a little bit when the going gets a bit tough. And I love Rothwell. I hate saying that because it makes it seem as though, like, because I think this happens to a lot of players. I know I speak a lot about it all the time, but where, like, Rothwell for some reason can't do these, like, hard yards and he's not, like, up for the fight and that. But just certain players have certain attributes, don't they, where, like, it's undeniable that Ampadu's better at the dirty side of the game. He's better at the dirty side of the game than Tanaka is. So it's not even like, you know, I know they play the same position. Well, they don't play the same position, but traditionally, the two centre midfielders out there, traditionally, and I know we're not allowed to say that anymore because one's a 6 and one's an 8, and we're talking about like 5 or 6 yards on a pitch, which makes a massive difference because when you're playing 6 yards in front of the centre mid, that's the 8 role, and when you play another 6, 7 yards in front of that, that's the 10 role. And I think the 10 role is the hardest position on the pitch. So I'm not saying these yards don't matter, but I just think Gruev and Ampadu is too much. I don't think it's needed. Not when we need to go get the game by the jugular a bit. And I just think Ampadu has everything Gruev has without being. Ampadu's not quite as defensive minded, I don't think, as Gruev. I think Ampadu's been actually hammered with that a little bit. I think he's been hampered by Gruev a little bit to suggest that they're both sitting midfielders. And I think Ampadu's more of a traditional centre mid. I think he's got a bit of both. I think him and Tanaka are similar. I just think Tanaka's probably better on the ball than Ampadu. But I think Ampadu can defend better. Well, you never put Tanaka in centre back, for instance, and Ampadu can play there. Centre mid's about as interesting as it gets. I mean, we've laughed about this before, but I think that's why people get confused about importance of a role and like difficulty of a role. I think you can be many different things in centre mid. As a 10, you can't really. That it's a very defined role. You have to be creative. You have to chip in with goals. You have to be a constant threat. You have to be so aware of your surroundings, and you do in centre mid. But when you're basically playing centre mid in the heart of darkness, centre mid you can hide a little bit, even in the Vieira and Roy Keane days and that. And I don't mean hide in terms of the game. You cannot hide for a single second in the game. But when you're on the ball, you can. You can come just that 2 yards bit deeper and you can come and get the ball. If you're coming 2 yards deeper as a 10, you're in with centre midfielders and you're stuck. You're visibly in the wrong place. Whereas I just feel like on centre mids, you can go get ball off at centre back a bit and enjoy play a little bit and take sting out of games. I know I've gone off on a massive tangent there, but Ampadu and Tanaka, ultimately, if I had to summarize, I don't know if summarize is the right word, but summarize definitely is our best partnership at the club because they both Ampadu has both. Tanaka has both. Tanaka's better on the ball. Tanaka's better at going forward. Ampadu's better at defending. He's not better on the ball than Tanaka, but he has enough ball playing ability. And I'm on about that as a partnership. So they can be just, I'll to get this right, they can be like, instead of both playing centre mid, they can just be like that. Whereas I think Ampadu and Gruev goes like that. Ampadu don't move, but Gruev does. So it's like when you like, do you know what I mean? I know it's rock hard to try and work my way through, but yeah. Ampadu and Tanaka, centre mid, Saturday. Yes, please. Nonto out wide. Nonto wide left. I'd stick with Aronson in middle on the basis that I'm putting Ampadu out wide left just for Solomon. I'd just take Solomon out at line of fire. He might come back into the side. He might. I'd be up for Farke putting Nonto in 10, to be honest, and sticking with Solomon. And especially if Firpo's back at left back, that's another change that we've not glossed over, really. You know, we didn't start with Firpo. Firpo left back will be brilliant. And I do think he helps Solomon out a lot, truth be told, and overlap. I know this is the underlap, but Firpo's an overlapper. Nonto in 10, but I would go Nonto for Solomon. But if he does go Nonto in 10, I'll obviously get well behind it because that's a ridiculous front line. I'm going to put Firpo in the front line here, but you got Firpo, Solomon, Nonto, James, and Paraag up top. We need Paraag to get some goals, that is for sure. And I think he will. I don't know if he's, we just need him to hit a bit of form. Lockie was saying earlier that he's on a 6-game dry patch, which is, I think he's only done once or twice, he said, while being at clubs. So it's rare that he goes on these patches. So if we can hit a bit of a purple patch, which I think I'd never doubt him, even if he went on a 10-game dry spell. I don't think it's due to, it's not like he's missing chances. He's just not been very good. And he's taken the hit for that. So certainly will be doing, Andy. Yes, I will be doing a watch along. BMG, sorry, dude. Yeah, I've just also feel like I've nicked your point there because I've just got through comments. I've glossed over that by accident, so apologies because that's right. Because I was saying about the substitutions made, and if he does Darlow in there, that's 1. Firpo comes in at left back, that's 2. Tanaka into centre mid, that's 3. Nonto into. You could argue really, if Nonto comes in for Aronson, that's. I know it's only 4 changes, but it's also slightly structural, isn't it? I think it's 4 changes if he goes Nonto for Solomon, but if he goes Nonto for Aronson in the 10, I think that changes the dynamic of the side as well. So it's really, I put that down to at least 1.5 changes, possibly 2. If anybody gets what I'm saying. Smash the like, says BMG. It'd be much appreciated, boys and girls, boys and Bob rather. I also noticed in the chat earlier that we've not heard much from Bob. I want to hear from Bob. I'm going to text. I don't have Bob's number, but I'm going to text somebody that I know can get in touch with Bob. She's called Nicola. I don't know why I didn't just say her name, but I thought she might not want the name saying. But so I will find out, Ming, what's happening. Because I know she wants to be fair. Well, I'll just find out what's happening. What's the password? New England clam chowder. Where at? Trombone Gate. The mythical number of points for survival in the Prem used to be 40. West Ham went down with 42. It's probably more like 30 on average these days and could be less this season, like 25. I mean, it depends what you think of Wilder, doesn't it? Obviously, if you're just Joe, you think Chrissy Wilder's the main man on the block, don't you? But, I mean, if he does well next year, because he did have a good first year, to be fair to him, and, he's got his fans, hasn't he, Chrissy Wilder, mainly just Joe. I think if he does well next year, because he did have a good first year, to be fair to him, and he's got his fans, hasn't he, Chrissy Wilder, mainly just Joe. He's got his fans, hasn't he, Chrissy Wilder, mainly just Joe. I mean, Burnley, you'd hope. I know Burnley. Everybody thinks Burnley going to overlap us, and I did say a couple of weeks ago. To be fair, I went with Andrea to suggest that us and Burnley, I were up for us going top and Burnley being second, but at the moment that is looking sheepish, innit? So we could end up in playoffs on that basis, but I'm going to get shot for it, and I don't care. If we went up even through the playoffs, we would outperform Burnley next year. And you can be as much of a mental bastard as you want and like be as angry about it as you want, but that is true. We would outperform Burnley next year. It's not. It don't work like that. They're a championship side, Burnley. We've got everything going for us in the Prem, and that doesn't mean you do well, but it means you do better than Burnley. I'm not going to Google that MVG. That's for next week's. I reckon that's after Googling Rusty Trombone. That's dangerous. No, Richard, I honestly don't. I honestly don't. I think I'm not ruling it out forever, but I think the teams that I know there's a lot of money. They've got a lot of money. Red Bull, but 49ers out here to give it to Red Bull. I think that why they're not, unless they're in more business together than I know. I don't know the fucking ins and outs of their business, but I think the 49ers want this smoke. I don't think they want to give it to Red Bull. I don't think they'd put all this effort in, all this money, and then sell it to Red Bull. I just don't think they'd do that. I think they might dilute it or whatever, but I don't think we become Red Bull Leeds, to be honest, or Red Bull Leeds. I just don't. I might be wrong, and to be honest, I don't really care. Shit is as shit does. I don't know. But no, is my answer. Definitely not in 2 years, but who knows in future. Darlow will get injured. He won't get injured. But that is how then Mez comes back in, doesn't he? Migs says, can't let Mez back, surely. I don't know what that means, Andy, but I think it's quite funny, but I'm not. Number 2, he won't get injured, won't Darlow, though. What they don't get injured, do they keep? It's very fucking rare. Yeah, I knew he'd pissed off, but he went, didn't he go, I'll Google him right quick. He went somewhere in England, didn't he? And he were all right, I think. Fuck me, he's got an hairdo now. Oh, he's always had that hairdo, hasn't he? But when he lets it down, that is... I'm going to have to present this hairdo to you. That is... Fucking look at that, boys. That's no joke, is it? I mean, how good at football can you be with an hairdo like that? I mean, to be fair, some Italians were sensational, weren't they? But I thought he went to some shits in England. My point is, I mean, ironically, is that the photo of him on Wikipedia is the Champions League game, right, laugh? That actually is playing for Liverpool 2018 Champions. 2018, fucking hell. Oh no, he went to Besiktas. Oh, Newcastle only played one game. That's not what I'm on about, to be fair. But I do actually remember that game, I think, to be fair. Some hairdo, though, we can all agree. Are we on about me looking stoned here? Because I've seen a couple of comments, but are you on about me? I don't know what. Darlow is 34 and will jump at the chance with his performance for Wales. 7 good matches for us in the run will give us a half-decent first team move. Give him a half-decent first team. That's a good shout, 78 RPM, yeah. And embrace the pressure. That is a good shout, dude. Because he's, will be concerned about his own fucking... I mean, I think we'd probably keep him on. I don't know, another year in Prem as a secondary keeper to whoever we sign, possibly. But I know what you're saying there. That's a good shout. Cause he'd be worried about his own future. Really, he probably wants to play games. Well, he definitely want to play games, or does he? I don't know. Scott Carson didn't, did he? So fuck knows. Touche, BMG. I tell you what, if Paraag ever steps into one of these lives, I promise you, Angry Mad Gav will step in. Did you see Mez put his finger to his head when he dropped that ball? And Darlow is a Welsh international experience. All keepers make mistakes, but I didn't see him point at his head, to be fair. I thought he did. I remember him pointing to the crowd when he said penalty. On the overlap, it were... he's nice and he Luke Littler. It's a bit boring and that, but he's just a normal gadger, isn't he, really? He's just a kid, isn't he? Nice kid. It does need Firpo, to be fair, but Byron gets a lot of shit for no reason. I know, BMG. He needed that big move when he got it, didn't he? At PSG or whatever, when they were in the war, they were floating around. I don't know, but imagine not being Leeds. Now then, Jack, mate, not heard your voice for like 8 hours or so. Aye, lad. Me and Matty got some stuff coming which Andy will be buzzing about because Andy's always talking about you, Matty. So on that voice note hype. Voice note, is anybody else a voice noter? It's the only way to go. Always knew Matty were a good lad anyway, but then when I got the voice note in, I thought, we've got a reel in here. What's the most toxic site you get the most abuse, trolls, hate, bants from? Probably Twitter, but to be honest, I only go on YouTube, Andy. Twitter's a bit more like wild, I'd say, but I don't really get that much. My engagement elsewhere is no, I only get stuff on YouTube, really. I don't really don't go on what else. I'll keep getting told I should do, but I can't be arsed, boys. Yes, JLUFC. Play Ampadu over Pascal. We're back down that route, are we? I'd have backed that a while ago, but let's get Ampadu in centre mid. No, I'm not, Andy. I think he'll go Tanaka and Ampadu, and that's what I hope he does do. That's what I hope he do. BMG, Angry Mad Gav wouldn't even know what number 10 was. He'd know what the number was, and he'd be like, what, like a winger? Like Harry Kuehl? Harry Kuehl wanted a fucking 10. Like, well, to be fair, Mad Gav, he did drift. He was sort of in that phase where you'd call it a free roll back in there, didn't you? And you genuinely did. And it was Kuehl had a bit of a free roll. He was a left winger, but he was one of the ones that would drift. And I thought, thinking about it, I'd like to actually watch. That was obviously my favourite team at the time. O'Leary's like Boyer and Kuehl and Decor and Bakker and Batty, and it was amazing. But I'd be actually interested to see how Boyer, because that was like the 4-4-2 days. But I'd be interested to see because I think this gets overdone. This gets overplayed quite a lot, like 4-4-2 and 4-3, fucking whatever you want going forward. 4-1-2-9-7, whatever, 3 forwards, 1 up top. Be interesting to see how they like looking back, because I know Boyer probably was an out and out right winger, but Kuehl wanted an out and out left winger. Kuehl would be, well, I think he's better football than Solomon, but it'd be like Solomon, and Solomon you'd never have out and out at left wing, or would you have more? Would Solomon be more out and out left winger than Kuhl? I don't know. It's just interesting, like when you, to be fair, and I think it's all bollocks with the. Yeah, I seen it on Overlap today when Carragher and Neville are arguing about formations and stuff with England team. Having said that, I'm not making a single point here, but I think that is slightly different because we were kind of stuck, and a lot of when you're playing world football like that, it's like a lot of countries were playing different systems, and we was behind really. You know, even Mourinho was in the Premier League playing a different system. I say even Mourinho. Mourinho was like a fucking pioneer, but I'm just mean like, you know, it was happening in England and we were sort of unwilling to do it. I don't know. Sometimes I think we lack a bit of gumption, but it'd just be interesting to see what like where Kuhl would be a 10 now, would he? Do you reckon? Will Kuhl be in the 10, or would he just play where Solomon plays? I don't know. People won't like me talking about Kuhl because he gets a lot of shit, but Nicola's been in chat, yeah, MVG, but we've not heard from Bob and Nicola for a bit, so we need to find out. Gav will make an appearance, man, but it's normally on quick shit vids, isn't it? No, Richard, I don't. I wanted Farke to, even if he has had a chat with some lads, I wanted him to be honest in interview just to say, no, it's my decision. I've spoken to the keepers. I didn't like the, like, you know, potentially had a chat. It feels like a divide, that, and I don't like that. Not for that. Yeah, in it, it's coming again, BMG. It's coming again. Understood. I forgot what it was now, but I know what you're on about. You're talking about the dusty trombone, aren't you? Which that's the type of shit that sticks in your head. That'll have to be next. Oh, grass, weed, right? See what you're saying. Unless he goes through Peru's pockets, I've got you. Yeah, I know. That's what I didn't like it though. Me, I wasn't keen. I don't know what that's in reference to, Jay, but I'm here for it. I'm off in a minute. Just got to take off my turtleneck and put my cigarettes out. It's in a holder. Terry Thomas. Then off to bed. Don't be having it in bed though. I mean, terrible stories. I don't know what Terry Thomas is, but I'm hoping it's one of them long Cruella de Vil things. He does look like Thor. He does. Fucking, is that right? It'd be longer than that. It feels like it'd be longer than that, would it? Probably not, actually. That's a long time, isn't it? Left winger. I don't think he'd be a left winger now. Ming loves it. But right, boys, I'm going to do one because I'm going to go eat because I'm absolutely starving. So, but I appreciate every which one of you, as you all know. That's on backwards for you, look. Channeling my inner Just George. You know, somebody put on Twitter today to me, just because I was taking piss out of Connor saying that Paraag stepped in. Somebody put on Twitter, what does Joe's dick taste like or something? I thought, what's it got to do with Joe? Like, you know, it's fine, but, you know. So my response was explicit, which, you know, comes with the territory. Said it was only got to the tip, only got just past the tip, but tasty overall. It was obviously faceless. This Twitterer could have been one of Voldemort's crew that he gets to attack, doesn't he? Like, so that he pretends that he doesn't know who you are, and he sends in these bots. Take it easy, AO. Thank you, everybody. Honestly, Andy, legendary MVG, Ming, everybody. 78 RPM, BMG, Hank Wyman, Sly 2.0, JLUFC, Imagine Not Being Leeds. Every single which one of you. Much love, Ena, my guys here with the trombone. I might have to, mate. Take it easy. Cheers for always lurking as well, Ena. I appreciate the lurking. I enjoy the end. Night to the schnauzers. We'll get to veg. Do not worry. We might do a midweek underlap if we have to, if we need some more veg talk. But I currently am a vegetable. So I've always been a vegetable, to be fair, but I'm flucked. So I'm doing one. Clem Fandango, take it easy. Cheers, Ena. 3 points Saturday. I'll be live as well, boys, on Saturday. I'm at work in the morning and at night, the night before, so I'll be racing about to get back, but I'll go live on Saturday, but I'll do a shit vid tomorrow. I might even go live tomorrow night. What's everybody saying? We'll see what's popping. And then, yeah, I'll speak to you all soon. But cheers, everybody. Honestly, I appreciate every which one of you, as you well know, but I really mean it. So take it easy. Speak to you soon.
Boom.